Hello, this is Mark. It is the beginning of December 2012. I have found the reason why atheists don't believe. Not just a matter of the fact that they're against Christ, and they are against Christ, but I found why atheists don't believe, and I found why those who call themselves Christians don't believe, and they say, just believe. They don't even know what they're talking about. They say, if you just believe, oh yes, Jesus did this, and they don't really believe. It's just mouth. It's all mouth. With the people that say they believe, it's all mouth most of the time. So let me get into why atheists don't believe, why those that call themselves Christians don't believe, why this faith thing is foreign to them and they will burn in hell. Best wishes that for their life now, and that they will turn around, but the way things are, if they don't turn around, they'll burn in hell. Not my will. It ends up being not God's will, but their will, because they don't have things straight. It is, let's see, I think this is John. Let me see. Yeah, this is John. And let me go back a few verses in John. It says, John 7:10. John 7. This is verse 10. John 7. But when his brethren, this is the King James, forgive me, but when his brethren were gone up, then he went up also, or then he also went up. Then he also up into the feast. Then went he also up into the feast, see if I can get it right, not openly, but as it were in secret. Then the Jews sought him at the feast and said, where is he? Because there was a feast and he was not going to it, except for he went secretly. And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him. So people were talking, thinking that he wasn't there. They were talking about him. They had a chance to get away from Jesus' teaching and talk about Jesus, which is important. And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him. For some said, he is a good man. Others said, nay, but he deceiveth the people. I'm using my electronic Bible. Howbeit no man spake openly of him for fear of the Jews. Now about the midst of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught. So he made himself public. He hid himself, but then he made himself public. I think he was seeing a little reverb back there, and seeing some reverb, seeing what the repercussions were of what he was doing. Jesus went up into the temple and taught. And the Jews marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learned? Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine, and that's teaching, doctrine is teaching, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. This is the key verse to why atheists don't believe, why so-called Christians don't believe, why belief has become about the most endangered animal on this planet. I say the way is narrow, and few there are that find it. And Jesus said, many will try to enter, but will not be able. Few there are that find it, and those that try to enter will not be able. It says, John 7:17, if any man do his will. Let's go back. Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or I speak of myself. This is the key. The reason people don't believe is because they don't do what's right. If they did what was right, they would believe. But they don't believe because they don't do what's right. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, teaching, whether it be of God or I speak of myself. So people say, Jesus, was he the Son of God? I don't know. Nobody can really know. Oh, people can know. He will know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself. If any man do his will. And that is the issue. Atheists tend to be concomitantly averse to God. It's not just they don't believe him, they hate him. And that's the problem. It says, if any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself. That's the key. People do not wish to retain God. It says it in Romans 1. Not wishing to retain the knowledge of God. I could look that up. Let me look that up. Book or Romans. Let's see. That would be probably verse 17, I think. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as is written, the righteous shall live by faith. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath shewed it unto them. For the invisible things, and it goes on, are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became, and this is not doing Jesus' will, this is not doing the Father's will, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. And it goes on. Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And it says, Romans 1, verse 28, and even as they did not like to retain God in knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient. They did not want to retain the knowledge of God. So it's a matter of will. The atheists will, and the others who call themselves Christians or Muslims or whatever, they don't will to have faith. They don't will to keep God in knowledge. But people who are doing God's will know whether the teaching is from God or whether Jesus spoke of himself. And that's the issue. You know, people can say, I don't know, but what may be known about God is plain to them because God has made it plain to them. They can know if they will. They don't will. And that's the issue. Thank you.